This performance is, once again, it's just a complete physical, intense performance. How did you find yourself preparing for it? Just not only in terms of emotionally, but physically?
Well, yeah, those are two different things, and in this case, they were like super different because you had on the one hand kind of who the character is, everything he's been through. He's coming back from 4 tours in Iraq, and he's, by all accounts of people I talk to, the words that they use are things like shattered, fractured, broken. And so you're dealing with that, as a sort of emotional state. And then you've got the physical side, which had to be, you have to reconcile the two. And, a lot of these guys that I sort of seen in documentaries of veterans or just met and talked to, physically, it felt like two things I noticed would happen. One is that they would just come back and just fall apart because they'd been through such a rigorous physical lifestyle, and are in so fit and great shape, and they come home and they're not active anymore, and they're eating junk and fast food and crap again, and they just sort of like bloat and fall apart. And the other is, or they look kind of haunted and wiry and sinewy and muscly and just seem like they're wound really tightly, and so because of the fighting that was necessary, and it had to be someone who could believably be in a ring and actually maybe conceivably actually look like they could hurt somebody in a fight, I had to choose the latter physical, look. And so he had to be sort of, look like just one of those rubber bands that was like really twisted up really super tight. And then had to kind of learn how to look like I could actually fight. Which I probably couldn't on day one. It would have looked terrible. But by the end, I sort of got to a place where, with the help from others, it looked like, okay, I can see how this guy might be able to hurt someone.
You absolutely did. And I was talking with Christian. I was talking about the bond. It shocks me that you guys didn't have a ton of rehearsal time, because there is a real chemistry between you two as brothers.
Man, he's just so damn good. I think that he makes any relationship work in a movie. He's a just uniquely gifted actor, and it was easy to sort of create a rapport with him. He just like delves into the character, and you kind of dive in, and you just sort of like find each other. It's just like hitting it off on a first date or something. And but I really think he makes everyone better around him, and any part of that relationship that works, I give him credit.
I give you credit for that scene where you basically break down and say, this is, are you kidding? I fought for this, what am I getting? I've heard that was improvised.
It was, but it was just born out of what was in the script, and the writing was beautiful in the movie. And I think that Scott had the confidence as a director to create, to let people experiment. Like, very often you write something that's great, people start changing the lines, you say, wait a minute, I have a very specific vision for this, I don't want you to mess with it. Scott is a very confident director, and he's willing to let actors kind of make mistakes, to change things in good ways and bad ways. And that scene was something that just had to sort of feel like it sort of just burst out of somebody, because the rest of the time he's sort of moody and sulky and introverted, and then suddenly it just explodes with sort of, it's the only way that he can kind of share some of the things that he's seen and been through and done himself, and that are all bottled up. And so you want it to sort of pop out like popping a cork. And so I just tried letting different things kind of pop out, and those are some of them.